Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and darters alike. We are back and better than ever for one more day of action here at the Tennessee Regional in Nashville, Tennessee, for the 38th annual tour from BullShooter and Arachnid here. Excited to be bringing coverage. I'm joined by Gordon Dixon in the booth, and of course, I am Nick Teixeira. Today, we are going to be starting off with some Pro Doubles 501. Gordon, I'm excited to be bringing the action. How about you?
Oh, this is one of my favorite events to cover. Again, always have to highlight this is another qualifying event for the ESPN tournament, the BullShooter Invitational, Rock Hill, South Carolina. So again, lots to play for on top of that title here today.
Yeah, and you can't trust it enough, right? I mean, that's where a lot of the pressure, the excitement, and the anticipation really is for a lot of these dart players. They want to be playing for that big stage and that big shootout that's at the end of our tour here. It's the most exciting event in soft tip darts, in my opinion, right now. I make sure to tune in every year, and I'm excited to see who gets their ticket booked for it.
Yeah, no, it's certainly becoming something on the calendar. I was surprised to see some of the uh, players pull out last year because if ever there was an opportunity to showcase what it is soft tip darts can be, it is there. And the Ocho Day aside. It's a built-in way for us to showcase our sport to a very wide audience.
Yeah, and we made it clear darts is becoming less of a niche thing and more of a big sport. I mean, viewership is better than ever across all the darting live streams out there, and more players are coming out of the woodworks, and the averages are going up. To start off with our first match here, let's take a look. We're going to be doing Bugs and Z-Man, Alan Bug and Aaron Zimmerman, going up against Langley and Liggett, Brian Langley and Mark Liglet here to start us off. So they're just getting set up on the board, and then we'll be underway for what should be a great first match for us.
Yeah, not a whole lot of teams in the pro bracket today. We've only got 9, but there's a lot of quality here. So expect to see a lot of really good matches and a well contested tournament.
Oh, certainly, certainly. Well, I'm excited to see as they are just getting the order set up in the board, and then the diddle will be underway here. Of course, it's going to be that 501 split bull freeze rule in effect, open in, double out here.
Yeah, playing on the 15-inch board for these pros. So a little bit different than we saw Friday night on the singles.
Yeah,
really good cork there from Brian.
Oh, absolutely. And what's going to be interesting is we're going to be really testing these players' math ability as well. It's not going to be just as simple as just going for the bull that you'll see in a lot of strategies. Go for the bull until you don't have to anymore. No, split bull here, we're going to be testing their math. We're going to be seeing how they can set themselves up. And also playing with that freeze rule in effect, making sure that they don't ever eliminate their partner from having a shot.
So Brian underway, only 55.
This is going to be Aaron's first appearance on the stream here, a.k.a. Wrecking Ball, it seems.
I love the it seems.
It seems. Yeah, there's still, I know most dart players. I don't know most dart players' nicknames. That's where I kind of get a little fuzzy here. Mark Liglet last night, they were running a couple extra blind draws for the people that were staying in the room. He had a good run, and he had a partner, Macy May, that's a little bit newer to the sport, and he was what I got to see from watching him was he's a sportsman. He didn't care. He was just trying to get her motivated, good, and just settled in, and they ended up having a good run in the blind draw last night.
Yeah, Mark and his brother. There's another Liggett. Are always extremely good sportsmen.
It's something
normally they actually play together.
That's awesome. It's something you don't normally. It's something you don't normally get to see, but it's nice when you see exceptional sportsmanship when you're really taking the time to educate the person you're playing with and make sure that they feel like they're actually on a team rather than just there to get carried. You know.
Yeah, I've never understood, especially in blind draws, when you get a a newer, weaker, whatever, however you want to describe that. Not another one of the best players in the room. To have anything but a positive vibe just doesn't seem like a good tactic whatsoever.
I agree. And that's also just that's a part of promoting the game too. Is like when I first went out to blind draw, if I had a bad experience, who knows if I would have stayed in the scene? Probably the scene would have been better off. But that's besides the point.
So Brian first up and is in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, on a breakaway, but Mark kind of well behind at the moment. He's going to need to get his score in line to make sure Brian will get a shot at the out. Good recovery in the last, a little bit wayward and shaky start there. Allen Buck can really make this hurt if he digs deep. Brian in the driver's seat, like you said, let's see what he's able to do and see if he can be the first one to set up on an out.
Yeah, this one of the biggest portions of the game for successful dart players is always that setup shot. Trying to go out in 6 or 9 darts from that 250, 270 range.
Yeah, exactly. That's a common misconception a lot of people have when they're watching high-level play. But, I mean, when you're talking to overseas guys setting up in 501 and high-level players in the U.S. and Canada here, they're thinking about it once they're below that 400 mark. I mean, that's starting to be a factor in their mind. And you'll talk to those guys as soon as they're in that striking distance where 3 darts can leave an out, they're going to figure out how to leave an out and best set themselves up.
Yep, in the most standard format, when you're at 350, you can leave a finish and go out, and that's really when you need to be thinking about it. Anywhere from 350 down on how to go out as quickly as possible. So 154 here, shot is on, triple 18. Oh, double top for a 154.
What a shot. What a shot there. And that's how you capitalize. First one out, first one to take it out. No one else was even on a finish. That was a great shot from Langley.
Well, and he protected against a freeze. He may have never got another shot if he didn't take that out. The way the leg was playing out, he probably would have been frozen the remainder. So great captain of the team there. Takes out the big finish.
Yeah, and that freeze rule is really brutal, right? Because if you get frozen in high-level play, you are almost certain to never get a shot. It's up to the player that froze you to get themselves back in and take it out from there. It's very hard to get another shot once you're frozen.
And look at that. Brian staying hot, finds a 180.
Yeah, starting off with some perfection. I mean, he's looking sharp today, let me tell you. He was hanging out watching Mark play in the blind draw for a while, and then there was this little kid named Jace running around. He's probably like 7, 8 years old. He was hanging out with him, playing dinosaurs or whatever they were doing, and just having a good time hanging out and really enjoying the tournament hall.
Mark's starting to straighten up a little bit, finding a little something there as far as straight darts are concerned. The triples will come.
Exactly. It's about staying true. I mean, most of these guys are going to stay in that 30 point per dart range because that means that if they're hitting a 33 point per dart, they're shooting a 5 mark every round. They're going to try to stay within that range if they can. Oh, look at this.
Oh, The crowd boos.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I'm still getting used to the soundboard here. Mark here definitely needs to find a ton if he can.
Yeah, one triple probably makes him safe. Two triples definitely.
Yeah, now he's right back in line with Aaron and Allen. So here we go. Brian, see if he can keep the hot hand going, averaging a 50 point per dart currently.
Oh, Nat needs a treble to leave a finish. Finds it.
Yeah, he did take a 1.54 on his last go around, so 1.34 more than doable. Although you would like to imagine he wanted to put a little bit more heat. It gives Aaron a great shot to really set himself up keenly.
Allen doesn't get to a finish. So again, Mark looking for really one big triple.
Does find it.
There he is.
Just like we were talking about with averages here, I mean, the lowest average only being a 30 point per dart, meaning 90 points a turn. That's still pretty great. That means you're basically hitting a 4 mark and 5 mark every other turn. One, 3, 4.
Oh, it's not going to happen this time. Now he needs big numbers. Troubleless visit for Brian.
Definitely an inopportune time for him for sure.
So big shot here from Allen can put a lot of pressure on Mark.
Absolutely. And it's more about, especially for Allen and Aaron right now, it's more about just outscoring Mark here and setting up a freeze. Mark, on the other hand, if he gets below 86, can guarantee that Brian will have a shot. Will not happen now, though.
Oh, no. Even with a treble, may still spell danger here. 152 is a finish. I don't want to focus just on the freeze. Aaron can finish here.
Needs to get below 53. Will get below 53, so there is a freeze in effect now for Brian. Can't take it out. All you can do is get as low as possible and hope Mark gets a shot if Allen does end up missing the 86, which he very well can hit.
Oh, and Brian still leaves it a little high there, 59. But 86 now for Allen Bug to tie this up at one apiece.
Going 18 for 32 there. Great second dart. And what a shot there from Allen Bug. One apiece now in this race to 3.
So not quite the lightning in a bottle that we saw from Brian in the first leg, but was against the darts, so was always going to be up against it. And here they are starting again.
Yeah, they're just going to keep chucking away here. One of this will get T and J, Timmy Bagley, and Joe Chaney, so what a reward that is.
Yeah, not going to be very many easy rounds in this 9-person bracket here at the pro side.
I do like the subtle smile from everybody when the 3 triple fives played that 3 in the bed graphic there. It was just more so a consolation prize of some kind.
Yeah, between that and the donk that it makes when you hit outside of the board, all very backhanded rewards built into these BullShooter boards.
Nothing is ever as satisfying as the elusive question mark, in my opinion. Even the board gives up on figuring out what happened. You see here, kind of a lax game from everybody involved so far, at least comparison to the standard we saw in the first 2.
Well, I tell you, Sunday darts can sometimes really stress you out on trying to find it again after 2 days of competition.
I certainly can understand that feeling. Not as hard for me when I go 2 and out. But that being said, the Trips event ran until about 10 o'clock, give or take, last night, maybe a little bit earlier. So at least they got hopefully a decent night's rest.
Well, and honestly, I just want to highlight just what Arachnid has done with their tournament format, adding a couple of grand and changing around some of these events to allow for those earlier nights and not having to play until 2 and 3 in the morning. Again, some of the automation that they've built in to their tournament structure, all very positive changes for them.
Well, 180 answers 180 there, as of course I comment on their standard. They took it personally, and now they're playing phenomenal. And I couldn't agree with you more, Gordon. Absolutely. As someone that's played with the player's perspective in the Florida regional, and now seeing it on the other end here, using the Tournament King and stuff after getting that initial education on the players of how to do it on their phone or with their hot button. I mean, brackets are running smoother than ever. Board calls are faster than ever, and this tournament is in full speed running along.
Allen unlucky to rattle that second one into the 1.
Brian and Mark really just need to keep bringing down their scores here. No pressure otherwise because Allen being out of line on the score, it's just about setting up that freeze and then setting yourself up as well if you can. Yeah, I see a couple questions in the chat here about how to participate in everything. It's an open event. You're either on the pro list or you're not, unless you have a known pro status. And so all you have to do, download that BullShooter app, and then in there, once you make an account, you will have a code. That's the code that you use to sign up and pre-register for events. $188 combined here for the going first team. So Allen needs to get below 188 at bare minimum. We'll do so, but if Brian doesn't take it out, he needs to keep that freeze in mind. So 18 for tops here.
Yeah, pretty much just can't bust here.
Can't bust and stay inside. I almost would say just hit the button here. Opponent's on 50. You want him freeze. I don't think he should risk it. He's more than talented enough to hit a single, but under pressure scenario, is it worth the risk? Yeah, he's debating it right now.
Yep, he's going to push off.
Good choice. That's a good choice, in my opinion. 50 is more than doable for the wrecking ball here. Make sure that if Mark doesn't hit, Allen will get a shot. 130 is the look now. Taking the 20s route. Going to stay on it. Single leaves bull. Trip leaves double 5. Oh, no, he moves. I don't know. You don't want to leave Allen a chance. The 152 is not easy, but it's definitely, again, and everyone's wheelhouse in a pro event.
Yeah, very, very strange, or very conservative, I guess. Um, if you do trip the 20, then there's a possibility to bust the 10. But yeah, not what I would have advised in that scenario. If you're worried about it, throw it really high on the 20 and at least get a dart at the bowl, or set it up, hit the 18 for 32, whatever may come your way. So 89 for Allen Bug. 57 should be the shot. Leave 32.
Any trip leaves a freeze pretty much. Does not do it, though. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. The 19 was a look, but he just needed to find a trip there, because now Brian will get a look at this 11. He just needs to stay true. Double 4 now. Oh, dragged it down.
But 2 is still frozen, so Aaron's going to have to push off. And Mark going to get a shot at this 45.
13 for double 16. There it goes. And what was a little dicier of a leg than every one of these guys intended ended up going in the favor of Brian and Mark, up 2-1 now.
Yeah, essentially just a hold of throw, but does put them on the hill. So Aaron and Allen gonna need to stay straight and send this to a decider.
That's a good start there from Aaron. It's one of the things with that split score format, where you have everyone shooting on their own score, is the A player, their job is just to hit trips and get to an out. The B player has to worry about managing the freeze. They have to worry about making sure that they also leave themselves an out, and they have a lot more other factors to realize as well. I think that anchor position is harder in this format than in any other.
I think you're manufacturing more pressure than there needs to be. You have 501 just like everybody else. Go down there and take it out. And if the player on your team takes it out before you, then cheers to them.
Fair enough.
If you're both racing to 0, then none of those factors have anything to do with your shot.
That is fair. But that's the key to my dart game, is I put so much pressure on myself, and that's why I compensate. $60 for Brian there. No one on a breakaway quite yet.
Oh, both sides of the target there. Only 36.
Yeah, so now let's see if Mark's able to really hurt that. He's hanging over that bed. He tried to throw around the dart and just was well off.
Yeah, that's one thing that I see a lot of soft tippers still do, just because they haven't played this format very often. You'll see a lot more steel tips switch around to open beds playing 501 like this, and that's really something that I think will naturally come. That when you're just having a scoring turn, there's really no difference between a 60 and a 57.
Oh, certainly. And on top of that, I mean, I know a lot of players have the mentality of, in soft tip, if you throw hard enough and you force it, you can get through the dart, even if it doesn't stay in the segment. You don't have to worry about bounce outs or anything like that of the sort. But at the end of the day, a guaranteed single in the right bed is better than going for a triple on the wrong one. So utilize the switches and use the board management, as the new popular term is. You see Mark
Good
there.
shot there from Mark.
It was a solid round. He placed it right on the right side of the bed. Felt the need to move over to the side there, but was able to correct on the last. Great shot there, though, from Aaron, giving himself the first look at a finish on next go-around if he's able to.
I was going to say, Allen really needs a big scoring turn, and at this point still may not be enough. Look at this from Brian.
Doesn't connect on last, but what timing from Langley.
Trying to shut her down here. Two out of three.
We'll see. Basically, a good turn here from Mark, but that was exactly what Allen needed to do to put a lot of pressure on it, and it's going to pay off.
And now tide's turn as Mark gets further and further away from that trouble there on that turn.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Went right for it.
25.
Good look at it. I like it. Now, no shot available for Brian at all here. Can only bring it down. I think he stopped himself. He was going to go right for that trip 15 to set up, and realizing that he can just score more and hit a single cleanup.
Well, no, he has a shot at this, right? They're at 273 total.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. I was off by one.
Live shot.
Wow. Never mind. Excuse my math. Now you can tell it's Sunday for sure, because my math is well off there.
I was going to make a soft tipper joke in there.
Hey. I grew up playing youth steel tip leagues, I'll have you know. I throw a 60 average better than most.
Oh, great last. Great last from Alan Bug.
All the pressure is on the back of Mark Liggett now.
And does not matter. Brian Langley is going to be frozen. So this 25, no pressure whatsoever.
Now we are getting real interesting, 2 apiece.
Into a deciding leg here on the stream. Again, we are in Franklin, Tennessee for the Tennessee Regional 38th Annual Regional Series coming to you. We are watching the pros play a little 501 split bowl. Looks like Aaron is going to get us started.
Yeah, excited to see how this one turns out. Let us know in the comments who you're cheering for, who you got in this one, as this is coming the distance here. And the only preliminary match, everyone else did have a bye in to their next round here, so extra pressure on these guys if they want to make a deep run.
An opening already for Brian, who started this match off on fire. And you see the come on as he only finds 26. So Sunday deciding leg, maybe not at full capacity just yet for these players.
I definitely think whatever team ends up coming up on top here will be more of a handful for T&J because of the fact that they are getting those extra warm-ups, the extra practice, and the extra jitters out of the way for that Sunday event.
Yeah, Mark just not really at the races here. Has been very close the entire time, just not able to stay straight. The other matches are up and running. Uh, Gravy and Biscuits leads 2-1 over Barry and Chris. I Don't Care and Last Call are tied at 1 apiece, and Bad Boys and Joel's Nuts Triple D is 1 apiece. Need to get rid of team names.
Yeah. I think now that we're especially going into that Tournament King sign up remote setting, starting to pivot back to using actual names and at least maybe changing up some of these team names here. I got signed up for trips last night. I put myself on the orphan list out there, and 2 people picked me up, and of course they just wrote Pinky for our team name. Nice and easy.
Brian, I believe Mark was at 272, and Aaron and Alan's total score was 273. So he was not frozen.
180 there for the Wrecking Ball, going well ahead in this leg. And yeah, you are right. It was 25 and 248, so combined of 273. But Brian, I'm glad that we went to the same math teacher.
Oh, Brian trying to stay with him. But bigger problems for Brian and Mark is Mark's score. Even if they were able to fade finishing from Aaron in the next 6 darts, Mark's going to need probably back-to-back 2 triple turns at least to keep him alive here.
All right, well, let's see what happens. Oh, it does connect. Oh, no, bad time for this to happen. Real bad time, as Aaron's been the most consistent, I would say, in this match, and having a real lax turn at the wrong time.
Well, and of all the scenarios that gave Brian and Mark a shot here, Mark put in a good shot to bring it back close, but Brian not doing his part. Should probably look down at the 19.
And does so. You need to leave some form of an out. You never know what's going to happen here. 170 is more than doable, if not a little hard, but you have to make sure you get a chance.
Oh, and it registers a 555.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Mark here. Huge opportunity for him now.
Still needs a big shot here. Have to imagine Aaron's going to right the ship after that poor turn. Maybe even get a whack at that 137. Good catch on the last.
Yeah, that is a great shot. Needs to get below 13 points if the 137 doesn't go. So let's see how he approaches this.
Oh.
Didn't get below 13
He left
points.
the door open.
It was a good shot. I mean, that's normally a proper setup when you're playing a non-freeze format for sure, but you would have. I mean, Langley really wants to capitalize. He's not going to be able to, but that was a very risky move. The reward will pay off, though.
He does catch the treble on the last dart there, but a big shot here from Alan Bug, and Brian and Mark, again, even if they fade the miss from Aaron, probably locked out of getting a game shot.
Yeah, and that has to be frustrating, especially just for how well they played in those first couple legs there. The first 2 in particular, they were looking so strong. But Aaron and Alan just doing what needs to get done. Not quite over yet, though.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. The treble.
Not quite over yet, though.
Oh!
Might have spoken too soon.
No, I mean the 16 is still in play, so he's gotta fade the double eight.
Oh, and there he goes. Aaron Zimmerman,
Aaron
Alan
polishes
Bug.
it off.
Yeah, this is a great one here. And good warm up game for us here. And I get to practice my math skills now for a little bit. Super exciting stuff for these guys here. And congratulations as they will go on to play T and J there in the next round. So super excited to see how this one pans out here.
Yeah, great first match for the stream. As you're watching, and we take a few minutes here to get that next match served up, head over to spider360.com. Pick out all of your latest swag from BullShooter. If you want to see where we'll be next, you can head over to BullShooter.com, go to tournaments, and all the flyers for, I believe, through February of next year, already up on the website. So find one close, and maybe Nick and I'll talk smack about how you throw outs.
Oh, I mean, that's not maybe. That will happen. That's just how that works. All right. Well, as you said it, we're going to have just a moment here. So we're going to kind of take a look at one of these other games going on in the hall. Let's see what's going on board 30 in the meantime. We'll get our next board set up here in just a moment. But Gordon Dixon, Nick Teixeira, bringing you coverage of our final day of the Tennessee Regional. Don't go far, folks. We'll be right back to action in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Darters like, hope you didn't go far as we are back in the action here. Joel and Triple D taking on Norm and Kirby here in the second round of the Pro 501. Well, technically third round with these teams having first round buys. We're excited to see as this will get them into that king seat match here. 501 split bull, double out, and freeze rule in effect here. Excited to see how this one pans out.
Yeah, this one, I think on paper, Joel and Donnie are the favorites. Not as familiar with Norm and Kirby, but certainly anything possible here, especially with the freeze rule.
Absolutely. And Kirby had a great performance earlier. I'm not sure which event it was, but he was on the stream and played very solid when he was throwing. But Joel, I mean, he's had the hot hand, right? He won the non-pro singles Friday night. He won mixed trips last night. I mean, the guy's on a tear.
I think it's Joel.
Oh, Joel. Well, you know what? He beat me in the first round of mixed trips. It can be whatever I want today.
Yeah, no, believe me, I understand who's got the microphone here, Joel. I 100% understand that line of thinking. But just in case anybody was about to jump into the comments, Joel Stockdale. He's been a great dart player in Tennessee for some time. Kind of jumped on the scene, won the singles against Joe Chaney at Tennessee State. Or at least that's when he really came onto to my radar. And I want to say that was probably 2 or 3 years ago. And ever since then, put up really good numbers and finishes each time he goes out.
And of course, Triple D, Donnie Lassie, no stranger to the live streams as well. I like how he came up to me yesterday. And he's like, I heard what you were saying about my strategy, and let me explain it to you. And I was like, I don't need you to. He's always funny. I always love talking with him. I see him at so many different events, so we always like to give each other some heat. Let's see what Triple D's able to do. He's one of those hot and cold players where, I mean, you really see these really streaky moments, and then he kind of comes back down to earth and streaks again, as we're seeing right here.
Yeah, big shot for Donnie there. Puts a lot of pressure on Kirby to stay within touching distance as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a jumpy throw there for Kirby.
Oh my gosh, so much movement in that. I'm sure, I mean, Kirby obviously playing in the pros, probably a very talented player, but everything needs to line up for those players that have a lot of movement in their stroke, and it can go really wrong when it isn't lining up.
I mean, look at the difference between Kirby and Norm here on the same team, right? I mean, nice and simple for Norm. He does do a little bit of an arm raise at the very end there, but otherwise, I mean, that's a pretty simple movement.
Well, in Norm, yeah, if we're talking about throws, Norm does not follow through, which is another kind of huge hindrance. Again, not that you can't be good. Chizzy, if there's any Chizzy fans out there, he's got a very snatchy throw. But what it does do is it again just kind of hamstrings you for how well and how consistent you can be for most players.
Norm will get a look here at 152. You have to imagine that he might have to take it here, considering the scoreline for Kirby. Triple D getting himself in range at 92. All the pressure now on the back of Helton.
Good shot, but probably. But that said, Joel's had a couple of slack turns here. So, well, as we say that, he's got the dart at double top. The freeze is already on, and you see the ringing the bell there as he finds the Shanghai 120 finish.
Yeah, good shot there from Joe G, Joel, Joel, and any other version of what that name can be pronounced as. Norm here to start it off. Showed a lot of consistency in that last leg here, and going first, he just needs to keep that up, and he will probably get another look at it out, but not the right way you want to start it off. You can see the frustration he has in that first dart. Shaky start all around, though.
Yeah, nobody jumping out to a lead here.
And both these teams had 3-1 wins over the teams they face, so they're pretty dominant in those first round matches. I don't care beating at the last call team, which is the team of Danny Pace, and oh my gosh, I did have it pulled up here. The last call team of Danny Pace and Geoff Miller, and then on the other end you have the Bad Boys team, which we're familiar with, Mason Sasser and Kelly Thornton. Mason Sasser, the 15-year-old phenom that made the pro list yesterday.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was certainly a great run, and they were in the finals against Timmy and Joe Cheney Chainsaw, and that was a great run that they had, almost getting that first dip, missing the bull on the last to unfortunately lose out there in a tie-breaking game. Which makes me feel better losing to them in Florida.
Here comes Kirby. Nice 2 triple turn, but Donnie Lassie started with a 1080. Needs to keep that going.
Yeah, you can see the players in the B position are really kind of carrying the torch in this leg in comparison to the players going first. And sometimes it works out like that. I do think one of my favorite moments from yesterday after watching Mason Sasser was they asked for his ID for the payout, and he's like, I'm only 15, I don't have an ID, and he had to call his mom for a social security card. A funny moment there. So, Mark Bond, to answer your question, if you place top 3 in the Pro-Am, if the Am can get moved up to Pro, but if it's 2 amateurs playing together, they choose who they want to move up. In the case of Kelly Thornton and Mason Sasser, they were actually both amateurs, so therefore they chose Mason to move up.
So Joel a little behind this leg. Needs to do some work. Does a little bit of it. But it looks like Donnie Lassie is where the win is going to have to come from in this leg if they're to pull it off against the darts. A strong setup here can have him first to a finish. Needs to think about this. Oh, and catches the treble to get there.
Joel here now, 228. So he was able to do with it. He's going to need to do something with it. Put some pressure on Kirby and Norm. Neither of them on a finish. Wants to make sure they are feeling the heat and the pressure on them. Tried to recover on that last dart, but Kirby. So now it's up Triple D. No immediate pressure. Take out the 137, but we'll get a clean look at it.
Oh, double 10. Oh, and he burst his score.
Not ideal. Now it starts to get real dicey because Norm and Kirby can set up a freeze, although Joel will get a guaranteed look at this.
And Norm just not doing the work here. Donnie Lassie, now it just looks like all the scores are even.
Yeah, really anybody's game here. It's the first one to catch fire and finish strong.
Joel just not doing anything this leg. See Donnie back there shaking his head. Kirby putting in a big shot. 137 still in play. Same way. Oh, back to the 77 or 57. Now 147 is in play. Could freeze with a couple of big darts. And it's not going to happen. So now 113 for Joel would kind of be out of nowhere here in this leg.
I would have to agree with you there. The consistency or lack thereof that he's been showing compared to how we've seen him, and I'm saying this purely because of how well he's played this whole weekend, it's going to need him to step up to the occasion right now. Not going to happen, and this is real dicey stuff because he's not going to be able to set up a freeze either, which is going to be the second best thing he could have done.
So double two for one apiece. There it is. Playing best of 5 here in the winner's bracket. If you're just joining us, we're at the Tennessee Regional in Franklin, Tennessee, just south of Nashville. We're following the pros this morning. Split bull, double out, freeze rule, all the fun elements of this format.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's one of my favorite formats to play, and maybe, again, it's just because I grew up playing Steel Leagues as a youth player, but I just love just using that split bull, and I also personally love the freeze rule. I think it's one of those things that really tests your game awareness, especially in a non-pro level, and especially at the pro level as well. Good switch on last start for Kirby. Doesn't connect, but after that rough deflection on the second, needed to get anywhere else but there. Joel three in the bed on the 19s, 1-7-1 there. And yep, I think he's frustrated at the last leg and really taking it out on this one the best kind of way.
Yeah, screw the 20s.
They're overrated. That's why I never hit them.
Scoring segment my foot.
Donnie Lassie just needs to make sure he keeps some scoring momentum in his own favor as well, so that way Joel gets the shot.
Good find there on the third. I know he's frustrated, but with the way Joel's playing this leg, you're exactly right. Making sure you stay straight, find a treble.
And again, it takes the pressure off yourself knowing, okay, I just got to support this guy. Do enough, and of course, they're still going to try to throw perfect, but do enough to keep them going. You can tell his 20s for Joel are not hidden, but, I mean, his 19s are lethal at the moment. They're even having a laugh about it back there.
Yeah, the 19s are free. The good news is he can shoot the 19s to start on that 16. On the 116.
Certainly can. 4 19s is 76. Frustrating last start, but no potential frees available as, again, Joel's just well ahead in this leg. Throwing a 42.78 point per dart at the moment.
How's Joel going to attack this on the 18s?
Interesting. That is definitely not the segment I was looking at. I was thinking 20s or 19s for sure.
Well, yeah, it's just that's just not the right way to go at 116. Perhaps he paused because he missed by 2 numbers. Maybe that was the start on the 20. I don't know. I'm trying to make stuff up on why he would start on the 18s there. Yeah, the job done. Gets the 32, and he's going to have plenty of darts at it. As Donnie Lassie again puts in a big treble, keeping up with Norman Kirby, which is all you need to do with your partner sitting on 32.
Certainly. 3 clean darts for double 16 now to get a 2-1 advantage. Oh, no. Yeah, I was going to say, you just bust it and come back and try that again. You don't need to worry about getting low.
In this format, I don't know. I think you still try to get down as low as possible. I think you still probably hit a 1 to leave 8 just because you never know what's going to happen.
I mean, it's certainly not a bad philosophy at all. It does put a little bit more pressure on Triple D to have to stay in front, but I mean, with Norm and Kirby in the 200 still, I think they're going to be okay. But of course, there's always that asterisk. You never know until it happens.
And I think even Kirby was given a little suggestion. I don't know what it was exactly, but I think there was a little strategy conversation real quick after Joel's shot as well. As he buries the double 8, second time of asking.
Yeah, it did work out well for him. All right, well, here we go. Leg number 4 going on. Coming up next will be the Bugs and Z-Man versus Gravy and Biscuits. As Bugs and Z-Man that we saw in that first round, Aaron and Alan do beat out Timmy and Joe in a 3-1 fashion.
Wow, convincingly.